millions of years according to your claim. You have been on this planet, but 1948 was the time when you declared the Human Rights Charter. 1400 years ago, this book had already given you information about human rights. Never mind about human rights. This book had given you information about animal rights. This book gave every human the right of life. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ. Do not take the life which Allah has made sacred except with justice and haqq. This book gave the right to equality. When black people were being treated worse than dogs, this book was talking about equality. Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min zakarin wa unsa, wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qaba'ila lita'arafu. O people, all of you, whether you are black in color, whether you are white in color, whether you are brown in color, whether you are yellow in color, you have all been created from one man, one woman, Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, Hazrat Hawa alayhi salam. Thus you are all equal and you are all brothers with regard to this. This book gave the right to justice 1400 years ago. وَإِذَا حَكَمْتُمْ بَيْنَ النَّاسِ أَنْ تَحْكُمُوا بِالْعَدْلِ اِعْدِلُوا هُوَ أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى. When you rule amongst the people, rule with justice. اِعْدِلُوا, be just. هُوَ أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى. It is closer to taqwa. It gave the right to privacy. It gave the right to freedom of expression. When women were being treated worse than beasts, this book elevated them and gave them the status and the rank of a queen. My brothers, this is the challenge. Bring a book like this. Behind every command there is benefit and there is wisdom. Behind every prohibition there is wisdom and there is benefit. Today you tell me that blood is a good breeding ground for microorganisms and it can be the source of many diseases. I say that this book is one of the reasons why this book told me 1400 years ago to slaughter the animals in a particular manner. Today you tell me the ingestion of large amounts of alcohol causes irritation to the stomach and peptic ulcer. I say to you, this is one reason why this book told me 1400 years ago, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ قُلْ فِيهِمَا إِثْمٌ كَبِيرٌ وَمَنَافِعُ لِلنَّاسِ وَإِثْمُهُمَا أَكْبَرُ مِنْ نَفْعِهِمَا رِجْسٌ مِنْ عَمَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ فَاجْتَنِبُوهُ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. O Muslimano, don't even go near it if you want to be successful. Told me 1400 years ago not to go near it, not to eat it. حُرِّمَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةَ وَالدَّمَ وَلَحْمُ الْخِنْزِيرِ. Today you tell me that intercourse during menses facilitates the entrance of bacteria into the uterus. This is one of the reasons that this book told me 1400 years ago, لا تقربوهن حتى يطهرن. Do not go close to women in the sexual sense while they are on their period. My brothers, this is the challenge. Bring a book like this. All of you put together, the humankind, the jinn kind. This challenge was there yesterday. This challenge is here today. And this challenge will remain right till the day of judgment. This is the true challenge. Bring a book like this, which has information of the past, information of the present, information of the future. Every command there is wisdom. Every prohibition there is wisdom. And there is benefit. It has logic. It is full of justice. It is a perfect way of life, a complete call. It brings contentment and satisfaction to those who recite, and it elevates those who practice upon it, and it entertains every person from amongst the humankind and jinnkind, and it will keep on doing so right till the day of judgment. This is the challenge. Let me make the challenge easy for you. If you cannot bring a book like the Qur'an, then the challenge has been made easy for you. قُلْ فَأْتُوا بِأَشْرِ سُوَرٍ مِثْلِ مُفْتَرَيَاتٍ. If you cannot bring a complete book, then I make the challenge easy for you. There are 114 surahs in the Qur'an. I am asking, only bring 10 surahs. The challenge is now made even easier for you. If you cannot bring a book which contains 10 surahs, فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِثْلِهِ, then how easier can I make the challenge? Bring one surah like the one in the Qur'an, which contains exactly 3 verses, something that makes sense, something that is there like the Qur'an. This was the challenge. This is the challenge, and this will remain the challenge. I ask you, do you think the enemies of the Qur'an at the time of Rasulullah, at this moment in time and future, they did not take up this challenge or did not pay attention to this challenge? My brothers, when history testifies, wherever Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam went, there were people that would shadow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They tried their utmost best, but this Qur'an was having a strange impact on their heart, on their mind. Walid ibn al-Mughira, he goes to bribe Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He hears the recitation of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is reciting the Qur'an in such a beautiful way. It was like Walid ibn al-Mughira was hypnotized. His heart of stone cracked and he began to melt like snow in the hot sun. When Abu Jahl saw this, my brothers, fearing that Walid ibn al-Mughira will declare La ilaha illallah, he began to rebuke him and he began to telling off. But in spite of this rebuke and this telling off, Walid ibn al-Mughira turned to Abu Jahl and he said, "O Abu Jahl, Wallahi ma minkum ahadun a'lamu bil ash'ari minni." By Allah, there is nobody from amongst you who knows poetry better than me. Arifu rizdaha wa qasidaha. I know poetry. This is not poetry. Innahu la halawa wa inna alayhi la talawa. It has such charm equal to none other. It has such sweetness equal to none other. وَإِنَّهُ لَيَعْلُو وَلَا يُعْلَى عَلَيْهِ. It overcomes, it overtakes, it overpowers. It cannot be overtaken. It cannot be overpowered. I swear by the Almighty Allah, these are not the words of a human being. Utbah bin Rabi'a listens to the recitation of the Qur'an. He's gone to quote the Qur'an, but these were the words that began to flow from his lips. والله قد سمعت قولا ما سمعته مثله قط ما هو بالشعر ولا بالكهانة. By Allah, I have heard many a word. This is not poetry. This is not soothsaying. What happened to Umar when he heard the Qur'an? The 6th year of Nabuwah, he has a sword in his hand. His intention is to put an end to the Prophet of Islam. With a sword, he is making his way to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's house. On the way, Nu'aym ibn Abdullah says to Sayyidina Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala an, "Where are you going?" He says, "I'm going to kill Muhammad." He says, "Never mind Muhammad, go take care of your brother and your sister-in-law." They declare La ilaha illallah. He goes there and he begins to beat his sister. He begins to beat his brother-in-law. They are covered in blood from head to toe. His sister cannot tolerate this. Her husband is being beaten. She intercedes and she begins to turn Umar away. She begins to turn Umar away. She begins to turn Sayyidina Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala anhu away. She says to Umar, "You do as you please. You can kill me. You can do whatever you like. We declare La ilaha illallah." His eyes fall upon the Qur'an. He asks to recite the Qur'an. She says, "No, you are impure. Go take a bath." He takes a bath. He returns. The verses that are recited before him are, طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى تنزيل ممن خلق الأرض والسماوات الأولى. Umar had a heart of stone, but when these verses were recited before Umar, every verse that is reciting before Umar, his heart is beginning to crack. It is beginning to melt like snow in the hot sun. And when the reciter recites, "Innani ana Allah, la ilaha illa ana fa'budni." "O Umar, I am the Almighty Allah. There is no God worthy of worship but me. So worship me." On this, my brother, he comes to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and declares La ilaha illallah. Abu Dhar, when he heard the recitation, he declared La ilaha illallah. So clearly, those he has come with the intention to take mistakes of the Qur'an. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is reciting the Qur'an. His intention is to take mistakes. The words that begin to flow from his lips are La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. Jubair ibn Muslim comes to Madinah al-Munawwara. His intention to free the kuffar that were taken as prisoner in the battle of Badr. Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is in prayer. He is reciting Wattur, wa kitabim mastur. He says every time Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam recited the word, it was like my heart was going to pop out. When he recited the verse, Inna azaba rabbika lawaqi, it was too much for him and he uttered La ilaha illallah. What did the jinn do when they heard the recitation of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? When he was returning from Taif at a place called Batr Naqla, Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was standing in tahajjud and reciting the Quran in such a beautiful voice that when they heard it, they said, Inna sami'na Qur'anan ajaba, La ilaha illallah, ajibu da'i Allah. Do you think they did not take up the challenge? Indeed, they took up the challenge. And they will keep on taking the challenge. Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidun. This book is here, it was here, it is here, and it will remain right till the day of judgment. And how blessed are people like you and me, who Allah has chosen to be the people of this book. Allah give us the tawfiq to understand this book. Allah give us the tawfiq to read this book. And Allah give us the tawfiq to implement the beautiful teachings of this book in my daily life. I ask for forgiveness. Allah give me the tawfiq. Allah give you the tawfiq. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah.